Hey, what is up guys, Joseph here for my prediction video on who Negan is going to kill in the season finale. In this video, I'm just going to be talking about the only 4 possible characters that could possibly be on the chopping block of the finale, because there are really only 4 possibilities. Starting with number 4, Abraham. Abraham is a question for me. In a way, he's not big enough, but he's not small enough to cancel out. It'd still be a big death, but it wouldn't be as big as the top 3. But in terms of likability, I wouldn't be surprised if he is the one to get the bat, but I wouldn't bet money on it. I mean, it's a possibility, but I wouldn't bet any money on it. Number 3 is Morgan. Now, with Morgan, I honestly don't know what they're doing with him. Because he's the moral compass of the show right now, they have a tendency of killing the moral compass. And without getting into spoilers from the comics and potential spoilers for the show, he builds the jail cell, which becomes a important part storylines in a couple of seasons down the road. But that's all I can say without potential spoilers, because they follow the comics to the storylines. They switch out character deaths most of the time, but actually I can't even think of one character that died the same as in the TV and the comics. I mean, Shane's probably the closest one, but I really don't know what they're doing with Morgan. I think it was, last week's episode with him when he was talking about the circle. When he saved the wolf saved Denise saved Carl, so he kind of went in a circle. When he explained that made me think that he was, originally, Morgan was number 4. Abraham was number 3, and my number 2 and number 1. But that episode made Morgan go up over Abraham, but he's likely, but I wouldn't bet money on it. Now, my number 2. My number 1 and number 2 have been flip-flopping for the last several weeks. Yeah, since the mid-season premiere, it's been flip-flopping, going back and forth. And because of last week's episode, I am saying my number 2 possibility is Darryl. Now, originally, Darryl was number 1, but as time progresses, Darryl becomes my number 2 because I don't know if they would shoot him one episode and then the following week kill him. That wouldn't have that. It would have the effect, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't be. Darryl lost quite a bit of blood. Probably going to be unconscious during the entire episode, it feels like. Depending on how much time they skip. But he's not gonna be. I can't see him being a major player in this episode. Might be wrong, depending on how much time they skip. And my number 1 is the character that Negan kills in the comics. The really only, well, not really the only possible, but like the main possibility that I can see happening is Glenn. Glenn is the only person I can really see happening with his death, and most of it comes from potential show spoilers from the comics. And I don't want to get into that because I know some of you guys are not that big of a fan of spoilers, but Glenn's death in the comics is very vital to a couple of character developments. And I'll just leave it at that. The people who read the comics or even do research on the comics knows what I'm talking about. You know what? I'll do this. If Glenn does turn out to be the one to taste the wrath of Lucille, I'll talk about why Glenn is really the only main possibility. And also, I apologize for the lack of videos this week. I know I promised a Batman v Superman spoiler review. I know the Walking Dead previews. The Walking Dead reviews, episode 14 and 15, I know haven't been up, and those two, I apologize, they just got taken down for that. I was trying new stuff. They just got taken down. I apologize. Just know episode 14 with the Dwight and Denise and everything like that, I loved it. Hated that episode at the beginning. Loved it once Dwight shot Denise. Episode 15. What was episode 15? Episode 15 I thought was okay. It wasn't great, but I know it was setting up this Negan stuff, and my God, we only got one more day, y'all. Can't wait. It's gonna be interesting who they kill. I'm thinking it's gonna be Glenn with Darryl number 2, Morgan number 3, and Abraham number 4. What do you guys think? Who's at the top of your kill list? But that's it for this video. Like me on Facebook at JMash97. Follow me on Twitter at JMash97. As always, links in the description below. Mash out.